Okay, welcome. Welcome to all those that have not joined yet and to all those that are watching this in the future. Um, Wanted to go over some of the new features in FlutterFlow. Last week was Thanksgiving in the United States, so we had off. But 2 weeks ago, we had BuildShip join us, and they helped us just run through what it would look like to integrate BuildShip into FlutterFlow, how to sort of send invites and create authentication tokens in the back end utilizing BuildShip. And that's a very common flow in most applications. Today, I wanted to be a little more FlutterFlow centric. And one of the things that we didn't really get to dive into because of that was flows. Flows are my favorite, my absolute favorite. Carol, Kareem, thanks for joining. But flows are my favorite new feature. I love them so much because as somebody who builds in FlutterFlow all the time, and I build multiple apps all the time, it allows me to mitigate some of the repetitive work that I have to do for every single application. So if you're building one application, and that's it, maybe it's not as beneficial, but there are some really cool features within the flows, and I just want to showcase a few of them. And then I want to go over, I've been helping a user on Twitter do sort of a complex workflow, and this workflow is implemented in some of the flows. And so I just wanted to showcase how I did that, why I did that. So you get the finished product right in the flow, but then you can also watch this live stream and see how or why we set up things. And Will's not joining today because he has off, which is great. And Kareem, there is a flow for chat. There's a flow for chat. One click, boom, you have chat. Also, a benefit that the new chat works with the old chat. So if you had chat in your application and it sort of sucks, it's just outdated. Okay, let's just say it's outdated. It was awesome. It was amazing for what it was when we launched it almost 2 years ago, and now it's become outdated. If you implement the new chat flow, it will work with the old chat collections and everything. So you should not lose any data. Everything should work. I took some time to make sure that was possible. So, and I worked with Alex, who had built the previous chat flow in order to do that. So since I'm by myself today, I'm going to put you guys over on my right. And I may not be able to answer all of the questions in the chat, but we'll try. And I'm going to share my screen. Valeria, I wish I could explain what the enum features are. They are developer centric. I mean, literally very developer centric. And I don't quite understand them. So what I do understand is they are single versions of a data type, more or less. So, and we also have constants, which we'll get into constants at some point in time in the future. So there's so many new features that we launched like 2 weeks ago that are crazy, and we're launching more. Actually, this next round of updates is again. I mean, I say my favorite feature literally every single week. The team is just improving the product over and over again. So I'm really happy with all of the improvements. It's so fun. So okay, this is not the flow. What I'll show you is the actual flow. So I'm going to share this tab. So I have all the flows created within FlutterFlow. And we have like a profile flow here where you have, a profile, you have a login flow. You can just add, there's about 4 auth flows that you can just add to your project. Again, huge benefit here. Everything's hooked up. So screens are linked, connections are made, backend is implemented. You don't have to, we had template screens, and template screens are amazing, but they only get you so far. You still have to sort of connect them to, you have to utilize multiple template screens, and then you have to connect them, and then you have to set the updates, update user profile and all of this stuff. So this allows us to just log in here, right? and we can create an account. Here, I'll create one that I haven't created before. We're able to update a profile here. I will utilize, hey, that's the screen we're on, but we will utilize just a user avatar. We'll say test Andrew. We'll select a role. Hello world. All of this stuff is from a flow. We get a profile screen. We get an edit profile screen. We have animations. Like all of this stuff is implemented. If I wanted to change this, I'm really awesome. Changing name. We're going to save that, and looky there, already updated. Again, this is superb. I love it. It's my favorite. But that's just one of them. I wanted to sort of go through some of the big ones. So I have a new project over here. I've been testing it, working on it, just sort of showcasing to some of the new FlutterFlow team members how to utilize page state and component stage, which is what I would like to get into towards the end of this live stream, or actually halfway through, more or less, after we go over the flows. But how to utilize page state and component state in order to add people, or add any sort of doc reference to a list of things. So 1 second, I'm going to try to respond to some comments or some messages here. Thank you all for joining. Let's see. Understanding order management and e-commerce apps. Thoriso, we have done a few e-commerce apps, live streams. We have an admin panel and then a regular one where we build stuff out. So does feature support real-time support? I don't know. Dr. Roger, you're going to find out what flows are right now. So that's the whole point of this. It's a hidden feature. We don't advertise on our website yet because we haven't updated it. Flows are freaking awesome. They are your next best friend. So how you get to flows, come up here to this green little button over here. We have new pages, right? Components, and you have this little guy, which is a flow. What are flows? Flows are these amazing, we just went through this flow. So we created an account, we created a profile, we didn't have to forget password. We saw our profile here. We were able to edit it here. All of that within a flow. One click, you add it to your project. One click, boom, you have it. Same thing, we have chat right here. So I'm going to add chat. Automatically, we see that we have a chat thread. We get a bunch of pages and components. I mean, think about this. This is what it takes to build chat in an app right here. We already built it. You're just going to add it to your project, and then we'll probably get some errors on this one, I think, because one thing that's required is, well, there's two things that are required for these to work properly. One, you have to have Firebase hooked up. Two, you have to have authentication enabled. And then three, you have to have your user documents implemented. So let me grab a Firebase so that we can utilize that project. And then we'll turn all of those on. I'm going to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my Firebase project. We're going to connect. We're going to auto-generate our configs. FlutterFlow. So if you do these, if you do this stuff correctly, right? You have Firebase connected. You have authentication enabled. You have a user collection selected, which is all things that you can do. So we're going to manage that outside of, and we're going to enable authentication. We'll just say Firebase. And right now we're going to actually add this. We're going to add authentication to this project. So I'm going to just do a flow here. And we have a simple one here that's stylized. We have an auth with phone number here that's stylized. And then we have a few other auth, right? We have a simple one here and another simple one here. This one has phone or email sign in. We're going to add, we'll just add this one, which is cool. So we just have 5 pages, just connects with Firebase. So we have that. And now what we need, we have 11 errors. The only reason is because we need to come in here and we need to enable our user collection. Oh, Lord Jesus. Do we have authentication set up? This is the worst. We didn't add our user collection to this. Okay, that's all right. We'll get there. That's why you do this in a live stream, right? That's why you add this without testing. We're gonna do home new or entry page. We're gonna do auth welcome. We're gonna do home new here. That's great. So we should get this as our welcome screen. What in the world? Can we just forget I did this one? And I need to disable that. I will disable that right now. Okay, that's exactly what you want. You want your flows to just break like that. Okay, we're going to just add another flow. We're going to add one that I like. We're going to add this little guy, simple auth flow. Now we'll do profile creation flow. Add this. So we have a users collection here. This is perfect. We need that user collection. And we'll just add it. Create flow. Cool. What in the world? Okay. Give me a second. I'm going to see if this is a beta problem or not. Because that should not be happening. Continue. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is definitely, it seems to be a beta problem. Okay. I'm just going to create a new project. We're going to try to start from there. Shit. I'm sorry, guys. I wish this was a little smoother. Okay, sorry. We're going to create a new project. We're going to say live stream flows. We're going to enable web. We're going to set Firebase. We're going to set this theme. And we'll create a project here. Or no, we have a project. So we'll just connect it. We will create user collection and enable it and enable that. FlutterFlow will generate files, config files. I did not foresee that coming. I apologize. I've tested flows a dozen times. They have always worked. So all right, cool. So we don't have these pages yet, and we don't want them. We're going to start building because we want to add those pages. We're going to add them in our flows. And again, let's just go ahead and try this little guy. We'll add this to our project. User collection, perfect. We're going to override it. That's okay. Create that flow. All right, seems to work. Perfect. Awesome. Wonderful. That is just a beta issue. So I will bring that up. But we have this now. We can create this. We can test it. The only bugs that we got with this was we need to select the entry page and the login page, and then we need to set up our Firestore rules. So we're going to set this to authentication 1, and our login page, we can just do to home page. That's perfect. And then over on the Firebase settings, if we come over here, we'll just manage, we need Firebase over here. We're just going to manage this outside of FlutterFlow. Cool. All right, so if we come to our storyboard, we one-click added all of these screens, all of them. They didn't have to do anything, don't have to connect them, don't have to worry about it. We can now create a user profile. So I'll start a test mode and we'll showcase that. And we'll also add another flow here. So 15 minutes in, this is where the real fun begins. I apologize. Thank you for asking questions. And Carol, thank you for answering. All right, so we'll do that. We have sign in now. Let's go ahead and add messaging. Okay, so we're going to, I'm not going to worry about that one. Let's do chat. Okay, group chat here. We have ChatGPT. You can implement a one-click add ChatGPT. All you have to do is add your API key and you'll have AI chat. We're going to do this group chat here. So we're going to look at this. We get 3 pages, we get 5 components, and we get 3 collections all together. We don't have to create this. So again, this is the power of chats. We'll just name that flow or name that folder. We get all of that right here. Again, all we have to do is properly index. We have to deploy these indexes. You know, deploy your 5-store rules for sure. Don't know. I think, let's see that. We want that. And now we can try to deploy. We shouldn't get too much. Okay. We should get proper rules. And again, no bugs, no anything. Let's go ahead and set up our chat main. Let's put it on the nav bar and we can just turn on the nav bar here. There you go. And we'll do our home page. So we have the chat main. We'll do our home page and maybe we'll just add, well, we'll just say welcome here. Cool. And we'll even put our profile on the bottom nav bar so we can get to that. Let's go ahead and rearrange. It's perfect. Okay, cool. So in our test mode, we should now be able to log in. And again, we did this in like 5 minutes, maybe 6 minutes. We can log in, create a profile, can chat with people in our project. We can add people to a chat. It's group chat out of the box. So, all right, I'm trying to use OpenAI Vision Flow. Kareem, you do have to have pro access to the Vision Pro API. Yeah, I think it's a beta feature. You may have to do that. Yeah, you may have to pay an amount to use OpenAI Vision API. Eli, no, the ChatGPT flow will not work with the Assistant API from OpenAI. Just so you know, we are working on that. But I was talking to Abel about it, and he was mentioning that you really, for those AI assistants, you really need back-end integration. And the Digital Pro just released, so Steve, one of our ambassadors, just released a really awesome video on how to integrate BuildShip, the back-end, and AI assistants. So I would watch that because you really should use a back-end for those to store all of that data to make it secure. Okay, so we have our sign up, our sign in. And again, we could go through that process and create an account. I already have an account because I'm utilizing the same backend as we did the first time. So we'll just do that. And we'll go 1, 2, 3. We'll sign in. We come here to our home. We already have chats because this is an existing user. But the UI, we're just interacting with that backend. So these are populated from the backend. But the UI in this app is new. We added it with 1 click. Same thing here. We added this with 1 click. So if we come in here, we can say, hey, I love this, and we can send it. We probably don't have our user rule or our rules. Let's make sure that they are set up correctly. Here we have chat messages. Oh, right here. All right, we'll just update these. So we'll need to just say users, same thing, users, and we'll do tag this. So this is just a rules thing. Again, we need to make sure that we can deploy that. And this is probably it gave us that red earlier. It's probably what it was. It was just saying like, hey, you have rules that are disparate with your current rules in Firebase. So, all right, let's see. Hello there. Cool, now it stays. We have the ability to see who's in the chat. We have the ability to invite other users. We have this changing name. We just added that in the other backend or in the other application. We can add them to chat. And we have 3 members now. There you go. Yeah, we have a group chat. So again, group chat, one click, all the collections, all the flows you need. Also authentication. We have all of those things set up. We have the ability to edit our profile, change our password. We have this account settings screen, which you could do all sorts of things. You could, log out. But yeah. All right, let's see. Andrew changed. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Carol. Thank you. Let's see. Now you guys can see it. Thank you. My bad. All right. And Eli, this is going to be great because we're going to actually get into this tagging users. All right. So we have this. Sorry, I was totally sharing the wrong screen. We have this little guy. All of these are group chats, right? You can send images. You can upload. Yeah, you can upload one image. You can say, hey, I hope this works. Send it. You can view those people that are in the chat. This is sort of what I was explaining. You can invite users. You can kick them out. Okay, you can go back. We went down to 3 members now, just 3 of us here. So you can create a chat and you can add these people, one or many. Okay, and this is what we're doing. We're using a page state here to add these to a page state. And then that's how we're changing the style of these. We're not doing it on the checkbox. So we're going to get into this. This is what we're essentially going to build. We have this in multiple flows. And I wanted to just showcase it because it's something that is common and yet very little is talked about it. We've done it in a couple live streams, but not specific to this. So, all right. And then let's see. Mon said the flows do not work with Supabase right now. The goal by beginning of next year, January or so, is to get flows that work with Supabase as well. So we would have Firebase flows, we would have Supabase flows. You would automatically be able to add them, and it benefits all of our users. So right now, most of them are just all of them are Firebase because most of our users are utilizing Firebase. So. But we just I had a user implement one of the flows and then change it to Supabase. So yeah. All right, let's go ahead. Hopefully this makes sense. I know that beta didn't work and all sorts of things, but hopefully this showcases the power of flows. And let's dive into building one ourselves. Okay. So we have our messages here, or I'll just showcase. I guess we already have this. So I'll showcase it here again, and then I'll see if I build it. Yeah, we'll see. But this is the invite screen where we have a list of users, as you just saw. And when you click that user, the background of this container changes, the border changes, and we get a check mark. Now, most of you are like, oh, we'll just do it on the check mark. But that's not necessarily, it's like a math equation. Like that's what you think you need to do. And then you don't realize there's another equation, right, that you have to actually perform to get the proper result. And so what we're doing here is we have a page state. And this page state, because when we go to that chat screen, we want to have a list of users. Now, that list of users could just be two. It could be you, authenticated user, and one person from this list. Okay, so that's two users. So we do a couple things there. We first establish this. Document reference is list contains users. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Dre, I'll answer on data change, trigger notification. This is possible. It's possible because we have a on data change trigger. You just have to do it on on the proper type of backend query. So, okay, so when we add this checklist tile, okay, we're utilizing a checklist tile so we can showcase, it's been selected. But all we're doing is on toggle on, we're adding this user reference because we're getting a dynamic list. So whatever user list, right, user item is in this list and is associated with the checkbox, we're adding that to a list. On toggle off, we're removing this from a list. This is awesome. We used to not have actions on these checkbox tiles, and now we do. So we're able to just quickly add. And what we're doing is we're building up that list in the page state. Okay. So that page state is here and it's building up a user list. Okay. We're also showcasing that number here. So if we go back, when we add this, we're using, we have one in the list. Now we already have ourself in the list. So I did a code expression, this list -1 to showcase how many have been selected so that we don't see like 3 here or 2 here when only 1 is selected. So, and again, we have that list on page. We're doing an action on page load here. And if chat ref is set, we are adding this because I'm utilizing the same page. Sorry, I hope this is a lot of explanation and not a lot of building, but you have the flow. And I'm just trying to explain how that works. Hopefully I'm doing it in a better way. But if this chat ref is set, which means you're coming from an already created chat screen, you already have users, then we're going to update the chat users from that reference here. If not, we're going to add you to the user list in the page state. Okay. So we're always adding, you're always going to be included. You will be included from the chat reference, or you'll be included when we load the page, you're added to the list. Okay. So you're added to the list here. And then we're adding other users to the list here. And then we're passing that list. We're just passing that page state list to the next screen. Okay. So we have to have at least one other user. If we don't have one other user, we're going to show a snack bar. Okay. So here on this screen, if we try to go, you must at least select one other user to start a chat. We have that snack bar there. Okay. So again, hopefully I'm not going too fast. But if so, and then we have another condition here, chat ref is set, right? If the chat ref is set, we're just going to update the chat. If it's not set, which means this is a new chat, then we're going to create the chat and navigate to the details. Okay. We're going to create the chat, add the users from the page state. This is it. And then we're going to additionally add user A, which is you, and user B, which is item at index 1. Yeah, that should be the case. Yeah, because you're 0, so they'll be at 1. Okay. And then we just set some different, we could set like no messages here. All right. We set this last message time, sent by, group chat ID. This group chat ID is just what we reference when we pass it from one to another. So when the chat reference is set, we're going to update the chat. We're going to query the Firestore reference, right? Because if we just update the chat and go back to the page, we're using navigate back. And so we wouldn't see those updates. So in order to make them live, we're then going to query the Firestore collection here, right? And that's why this chat ID is important. We have this group chat ID. We're going to query that. And then that query is going to give us the updated chat here. And then when we go back to that page, so I guess we're not navigating back, we're navigating to that chat details page, but we're going to navigate to that with a new reference instead of the reference that we passed from that page to this page, back to that page. Sorry, you may have to slow that down, but essentially we need to update this query after we update it and navigate back. Okay. All right, we have a bunch of questions. I apologize. We don't have anybody that can help with the questions today. Group vote. Let's see. Let's vote Supabase real time so that developers can see it. Yes, please do vote Supabase real time. Lots of people. We just sent out our Q3 survey, and a lot of people have asked for that, so keep doing it. All right, let's go ahead and build. Let's go ahead and build something. All right, we'll build this. Okay, so I've showed you power flows. We've gone over the power flows. We've gone over how we built this. Okay, in an actual use case here. Now let's build it. Let's build something else. Okay, let's say we have a list of. Let's do maybe a list of activities. Okay. So I'm going to, I don't need to manage my content. I need to add a collection here. I'll say activity. All right. We're going to generate with AI. I would like a collection that contains name, description, list of user references, an owner user reference, and a time created. Okay. Name, description, users, owner, created time, sick. We're going to just insert that. Boom. Power of AI, which is rockin'. Love it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a screen, which we also have this as a flow, so you don't need to do this, but I want to showcase how it works. So let's go ahead and drag in. We're going to do a new template here, and I'm going to do an activity stream. Okay. Yeah, we'll just do this guy. All right, this is going to be my activity stream. Looking good. Let's go ahead and remove the border radius. It'll look even better. All right, and then what we're going to do here is we're going to backend query this, okay? So we'll do a backend query here so we can showcase our activity. And we'll do this, list of documents. We'll order by the created time. And we'll do a decreasing. We'll do this. Okay. Cool. We're going to create that backend query. Awesome. Now we can hook this up with data. And if you, most of you guys know how to do this. So what I'll do this really quick. All right. We're going to just select, we need this little guy. Okay. We're going to do a document reference. We want to have a user avatar here. We are referencing the owner of the document, of the activity, right? So we want to reference a user document here. So we're going to do that. And we're going to do this activity reference. We can do a list of references, but we want this owner. Boom. We just want a single time query. And then we can have the avatar here. Okay. That's sort of important. If you don't know how to, like, if you reference users or, you reference another collection in a collection document and you want to access some of that data, you have to use a document reference. So same thing here. We need the name of that user. So we'll just do display name. And then this, we will do, we'll do the name here, and then we'll do the description here. Cool. And then that's a column, so that should wrap. Perfect. Okay. Now we need the ability to create an activity, and we need to assign users. So let's go ahead and create, and we will just do that. Let's say, all right, we have this little guy here. We'll do create activity. I think this will be a beneficial live stream. I really do. All right, we're going to do, we don't need a photo here. Instead of a photo and instead of a bug report, we'll just change, we'll update this data. So I'm going to update it to create activity. Okay. And we'll say, you know, name here, name, description. We don't, again, we'll do create activity. Cool. And then instead of this upload image, what we should do is we should assign users. Okay. So let's go ahead. What we need to do is we probably need to create a user card or something where we house a user. So let's do that. And I'm going to change this row. I'm going to wrap it in a column. Okay. And then in that column, I'm going to press Command Shift F, which brings this insert menu up. We have the Command F as well. We're going to say user. All right. We have all of these list items. That's cool. We're just going to do this one. All right. So we have this little guy. We don't need the box shadow because it's already within a box. And we probably don't need the padding. We can just do like 4 pixels padding. Perfect. All right. Let's go ahead and make this user card a component. For the sake of argument, we're just going to do that. We're going to say user card. Okay. And then in this component, we're going to add a parameter. And we're going to say user reference. Okay. This will always, a user document. That's what we want. We want a user document. Boom. We'll always make it required because you're going to need one in order to see this. And then since we have a document here, let's center align that. What is, this is, oh, center here. There, start is fine. Cool. Now, again, we have a document up here. So we're able to access that user document. Okay. So let's do that. We'll do a user reference, get property document, photo URL. You should set a empty state default value. We're not going to, because I'm going to, for the sake of this, we already have those. So we're going to do this again. Username, and we'll copy that, but get property document, email. Okay, cool. So we have these 3 things, right? We have a user card here, and now we need a user, a selected user. Okay, let's say a selected user. So I'm going to go back to our activity, and I'm going to say assigned user, because we'll do 2. Well, if we have time, we'll do 2, but for now, we'll just do 1. We'll assign a user, and then maybe we'll assign multiple users. We'll showcase how to add multiple things, multiple of these people to a and utilize that with page state. Right now, we're going to do a single one. So we need a modal that pops up with a user list. Okay. So we're going to, again, we're going to add a component actually. And we have all of these awesome user lists in bottom sheets, more or less. So we're going to do this one, or we can do this one. user list select. Okay. Now, instead of this little guy, we'll make it infinite width. Instead of these guys, it says replace widget. We're going to do just that. We're going to replace it with our components. Okay. So we have that component. Let's go ahead and bring that up again. We're going to do our user card here. And in our list view now, we can query our user list. Okay. So we're going to query all the users within our project. Query collection, users. Okay. Okay. I'm going to let you, Carol, thank you for managing the chat. Yes. Just thank you. All right. We'll do created time decreasing, and we will exclude current. Well, no, you could add yourself. You can do that. All right. So we have this. We're querying this, right? We have users that we're querying. We can then pass our user reference here. So we'll just do that. Document users. We'll set a unique key, which will just be that document ID, which is the reference here. That way you get different, right? You get the proper user reference here. And instead of like add user for now, we'll just, we don't need this. Well, we just want it to close. I want this to close modal. All right. And this guy will say assign user. We're going to wrap this little fella in a column, and we'll set it to the bottom. And then we'll just set like 32 on the in spacing. Cool. All right. And we do want to set like a padding on the top. Okay. So we're going to do a couple things. We're going to access this. We're going to access this as a bottom sheet. We're going to access this as a bottom sheet. So from our create page, create activity, we want this little guy, this container, we want to access the bottom sheet. So I'm going to, on this container, we're going to select an action and do bottom sheet show. Okay. We're going to select that user list select. Okay. We'll do a background color of accent 4, which is our overlay color. And then we'll enable drag. All right. That'll be fine. And then what we need to do is on that, in that bottom sheet, we're going to have a dismiss bottom sheet action here. That dismiss action bottom sheet is going to have a return value. Okay. Has value. We're going to return something. So we're going to return a document, and we're going to return this user document. Okay. So users, it's not a list. We're going to select this document. Whoever you select here is going to return. Okay. That is essentially how this is made. Okay. But there's a few more steps in order to make this not break, in order to make this work. Okay. So we're going to dismiss on the single select, right? Single tap of this card. We're going to dismiss this bottom sheet and pass back a user reference, this user card. Okay. Now we haven't hooked this up. We still have one bug here. Reason being, this user card needs a document reference. So what we can do is there's going to be an action output now. There should be an action output. Why is there no action output? Oh, we didn't give it a name. Let's see. We have not given this a name. We should give these a default name. Note for the dev team, give action outputs a variable name by default. Okay. Let's say selected user. Okay. Perfect. And then we can set this user document from that action output. Sweet. Okay. Now we're going to get an error. We're going to get a gray screen on this screen if we don't update something. Okay. What we need to update is this. We need to set a conditional variable. And if you view the flows, right, there's like a support ticket flow, there's an activity flow that does this exact thing. You'll notice that we have conditions set on these user cards because we want to make sure that this selected user, right, reference is set. Okay, is set. If it's set, we'll show it. If not, we won't show it. Otherwise, you're going to get a big gray screen here because there's no reference. Okay, so note it's like a math equation. Andrew, I'll try to approach the submenus question. So here again, we'll just update these icons to be more add user. And we'll just add, I guess. All right, I need another test mode, so I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to get that up and running. And then we'll say add user here. And we have a bunch of stuff we still need to do. We need to create this activity. Aren't you guys glad that we have this as a flow and you don't have to do this every single time? Thank you. High five. That's awesome. I'm really happy. So let's create our activity now. We're going to create document, select activity. We're going to add a bunch of fields. Okay. All right. And this is going to be fun. So we're going to do name here from variable. We'll just click it on the canvas and we'll do this again. We're going to click this, selected right there. Users, we won't do this one because we're just going to do a single one for now. The owner will be you, so it should be authenticated user reference, boom. And then this is going to be fun. The assigned user is going to be that action output as well. It's going to be the one that's right here. So selected user reference here. Perfect. Our created time is going to be current time. All right. That's perfect. And then we'll just give it an action output. We'll say new creation. Yeah, Inspire Sphere. Test mode is our number one cost as a FlutterFlow team. Test mode is. It's our number one cost. So that's why we cut it off after 25 minutes. And there's a lot behind it. So, all right. So we have this. We're able to create a document here. We want to also navigate back. So we're going to do that. We're going to navigate. Oh, we can just navigate back. Boom. Cool. We could add a snack bar or something. So essentially, we will create an activity, assign a user. We could set up a conditional action here where we could say if the user reference isn't set, right? So we'll say user reference from that action output is set, just like we did before. So is set. Cool. And we'll copy this chain, copy action chain. Oh, we're going to cut the action chain. Come on. Love that. Cool. And then we will show a snack bar if it's not. This is just, you need to select a user. Okay. This is just how you can set up conditional error messages, right? When you don't have a form. Well, you do have a form here, but we want to just show a snack bar. So if the reference is set, we'll create the document. If the reference is not set, we'll show an error. Oh, we want this to be white. Eee. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll show an error there. Our test mode is live. This is great. Let's go ahead and share this. I want to see if it works. Okay. Inspire, it's not like some people will leave them running forever, and not reset it. So it's one of those things that you're going to have to you can always use CLI and download your code and compile it like that. So that's your alternative. Sorry to state it so harsh, but again, this is amazing. You can do this in browser. So we don't have a trigger on our home screen, which we'll need. So let's just go ahead and add an icon button up there. And then is this not? Oh, cuss. I didn't utilize my theme. Oh, well. Okay, we're going to icon button. We'll throw it up here. And we'll do 8, 16, and 8. And we'll make this our informational. Cool. And we're just going to navigate to create activity. We're going to slide up 50. Okay, cool. Hey, we have a good amount of people here. So thanks for joining, guys. We are currently going over how to create a activity flow, how to add a user to an activity flow to assign them, and then how to pass them from a component back to a page to a Firestore document. You can do the same thing with Supabase if you want. So just note to the wise. So let's do that. We will instant reload this. John, there's 1,000 things we could probably do. This is just the best. This is the best case scenario. So again, I'm not going to sit here and defend test mode and why it works one way and not another. Sorry. I'm not sorry. Apologize. All right, we're going to create an activity here. So we have this. We have an activity name. Really awesome. We probably need to deploy our rules first because we probably, well, activity, it should be good because I think I already have this in our document, but we will just do that for now. We will deploy this. So we have our rules. Okay. So I deployed the rules as I was saying that. This works. I know it does. Okay, so this is what we've been working on, this add user. We have this list of users here. We'll do changing name, then the changing name appears here. We could, again, we could remove this. So this little user here, or like this row, we could hide this if the user reference is set. So we can hide that. So now we can do that, and we can create the activity. And we go back, and there it is. Really cool. Know this works. We don't have an assigned user here, but we could. We can just add that, and that's how you pass data pretty easily. So here, what we'll do is we will add our user card here. But first, I'm going to make it dark mode. I'm going to make sure that this adjusts. I want this to adjust. So we're going to do secondary BG. We will remove the border. Sorry, this is the designer in me. I'll do that. And we'll do label medium. These do work typically. We have a use my theme toggle. We just didn't, I didn't toggle it on. So that was terrible of me. I'll go ahead and change this background to primary background. And let's change this little guy to our primary background. Cool. And then we'll change this text to our body large. And our border here, we don't want it to be white. We want it to be our primary background. Perfect. Oh, I think this is secondary. What is it? Yeah, secondary. Okay, this divider color, we will adjust to our alternate. And then again, we have this little column here. So what we'll do is we will add our user, right? We have that user list here. We'll just add that to the column. Perfect. You can probably remove this divider now. I'll just add this, and I'm going to edit that as well. We're going to have to do another user reference. Okay, so we want to pass a user document here, but we want this to be the assigned user. So we have to do another user document here. Document from reference, activities. We're going to do this assigned user here. Why do I have that? Document from reference, assigned user. Interesantes. Oh. Maybe because we need a document. That may be why. All right, let's see. Maybe we'll do a query on this little guy. Document from reference, users, activity, assigned user. Yes. Okay, cool. We get that. Single time. Perfect. Okay. We can pass this little guy in. Now we get this second option here from column query. I like that. We'll just pass that, and we'll make it again this document ID. Here you go. Eli, we are currently working on flows for everybody. So just so you know, it's gonna be pretty cool. It's been really cool to see the response from not only our retail users, but our enterprise users, and how well it's been received by, like, how much they use them and how much they want to use them. So it's going to be a thing. We're going to add them to the marketplace. It's something Michael's working on. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Flows are going to be the future. I really do believe that. Better than sample apps. So, all right, we have our activity flow now, our activity list here. Let's go ahead and make, for best practices purposes, let's make this expanded. Oh, maybe I have a scrollable column in here. Let's see. No. Oh, we have this in a column. Okay, so we can just add this instead of the column. Perfect. And then we can expand this guy. Awesome. We can remove shrink wrap. All right. And we'll remove this padding from the bottom. All right. So we have our activity view here. We can create, we'll see the assigned user, and we'll see who created it. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to save, go back to test mode, and then we should be pretty good. Check the rules. Oh, dude, no joke, man. That's like the number one annoyance of mine. I'm like, why isn't this working? And I go to the rules. It's right there. So cool. And I just want to give a shout out to all of those that participated in the FlutterFlow Imagine contest. There are some phenomenal examples of what can be accomplished in FlutterFlow. So early to arrive, you had a quite a good one. So, okay, sweet. Dude, we got it. So we have this. Again, we have a backend query first, document from reference to see who created it, another document from reference to see who it's assigned to, and then we are showcasing, the name here of who created it, a name and a description here, when it was created, all of this from a simple create activity screen. This is another activity, and this completes the live stream. Congrats. We can add another user. All we need is a scrolling. We just need to scroll here. I'm going to assign Michael to this. We'll just create the activity then. And then boom, we have Michael completes. We don't worry about spelling here. We're designers and developers, but that is how you can pass, user references. In this case, a single one, right? simply by using page states, or in this case, not even page states. We just utilize an action output from a bottom sheet. So yeah, that's the power of FlutterFlow and what you can do, but you need to know to do that. So I understand that. That's why we're doing the live stream. So if we wanted to change this to a list of users, right? Just like we did in our messages flow. I don't have time for it today because we're already at end of time. We're already at the end of the live stream. But what we'll do here is we're going to copy this variable because I don't like an add user here when I already have a user selected. We're just going to paste that. We're going to say is not set. Perfect. Okay. But yeah, all you would have to do is create a component state with a list of user references. Instead of clicking and dismissing the bottom sheet, you would just add that whatever you tap, right? Whatever user you tap, you add it to that component state list. And then at the bottom, when you close and you dismiss the bottom sheet, you would pass that list of user references back to the page. So that's that's another thing. There you go. We have it. It works. EG is phenomenal. Okay, cool. This is what I want to accomplish. So again, there are examples of this in our flows. So we have, as I said, our flows entail some authentication ones, some chats, group chat, some ChatGPT, right? Vision API one, notifications one. This is what we just built essentially, where you can assign users. You can see that here. We also have like a support ticket one. This can be added anywhere. We also have this fun web app template that, most people, when they utilize our components for web apps, since they don't have like a native web navigation, it's confusing to them how to set things up. This web app template has everything hooked up. So when we add it to our project, we're not adding any Firebase. We're adding one component, 4 pages. And you can do that. And then if we just add one of these, I'm going to add this to like our bottom nav just so we can get to it. But you can navigate right from this side navigation, okay, to all the screens. Everything's hooked up. The selection is hooked up. Everything. Lots of fun. So I will see if this works. Did we save it? Save that. Come back to our live stream. If we have a 4th nav item, we should be good. Let's see. Going a little bit long here. All right. So thanks for the stream. Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. Like, really do. Sorry it was so chaotic at first. Using beta for building isn't always beneficial. So, Eli, more flows are coming probably by the end of the year. I've been working on a few, but we have a lot of product updates that I've been working on. So we are in the process. Let us know what flows you want. Okay, please tweet at us. Let me know. I think they're excellent. I think especially like, do we not save this? We save this. There you go. Okay. Yeah. Let us know what flows you want. I think the problem I ran into was I had to create a profile screen and an edit profile screen every single application. And it ticked me off. I was like, why do I have to hook up everything again? And so this sort of spurred, I was reading a book called Automation, how to like automate general tasks in life. And this was one of them that we could automate, So tasks and subtasks. Okay. So like, almost like a commenting one, or something like that. Okay. You could adopt that quite easily, Eli. You could do it here. Sick. We have this desktop now. So let's come back down to like 100% here. So this is a flow. We just did it one page, right? I mean, like one click, we got this automatically out of the box. So now we have a desktop app. And then we could just drag in whatever content we need here. Since we utilized our chat flow, oh no, we didn't. Okay, cool. I'm adding a chat flow that is a component, so you can have a responsive chat. If you utilize our chat template currently, as of like the old one, you can't do it. There's no way. So now you can do a responsive chat, and it looks great. Um, so this is a great question here. Is there a FlutterFlow feature suggestion board? You can go to our community. You can access it from our dashboard here. So you should be able to access our community from the dashboard. Oh, perfect. Yeah. There's a wish list. There's also, you can tag stuff, and you can support, and you can sorry. Yeah. You can basically request things, send them to the team. You can also request features in the builder. So you can go here, give feedback. You can request a feature. You can do that there as well. Or that goes to a Slack channel. We all see it. So I don't know if there's access to the docs offline. I do not think so. It's all web-based. So again, thank you all for joining. This was great. I hope it was beneficial. I hope it showed. I mean, after about 15 minutes, we actually got into it. So if you're rewatching this, I apologize. But I hope this makes sense and you can see the power of flows. Again, one of my favorite features because it helps me save so much time when I'm building multiple applications as an agency. But there's also a bunch of flows in here that you can utilize in every project, like chat or like the support flow, a support ticket, activity, notifications. Like, again, what we just built today is available as a flow. You don't have to do this yourself. So I hope it was great to see how the sausage was made, but you can just go to the store and buy the sausage. You don't have to wait in line to see the butcher cut it up. So thank you. I enjoy all of my idioms. Right. Thank you guys so much. Yes, thank you. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Next week on the live stream, we will have a FlutterFlow builder. Syrian and David, they won App Design of the Year. They are launching publicly their application, Gift It Social, which is launching just in time for Christmas. So it will be on both app stores, iOS and Android. And they're going to be joining next week to showcase how they built it in FlutterFlow and how to scale. They got funding for their application. So they're going to talk about how to scale product building. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And then we'll probably just build live as well. So thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your week.